All right, let's dive into what might be one of the most impressive corporate stories of the year. We're talking about Hasbro and their 2025 performance. Well, it wasn't just good, it was a masterclass in how to completely dominate the game.
You know, for years, we've thought of Hasbro as that classic toy and board game company, right? But in 2025, they showed us there's so much more than that. This wasn't about selling a few extra Monopoly sets. Nope. This was a deep, fundamental shift in strategy that delivered some absolutely incredible results.
And when I say incredible, I mean it. Just look at this number. Over $1.1 billion in adjusted operating profit. That's not just a good year, that is a record-shattering performance for the company. So, the big question is, how'd they do it? I mean, how does a legacy brand in a market that's always changing totally reinvent itself to post numbers like this? Well, that's exactly what we're here to break down. The story is all in the numbers, the strategy, and one completely unstoppable MVP. So first up, let's just look at the scoreboard. The top-line financial results that really prove this was a truly historic year for Hasbro. What's just wild here is the fourth quarter performance. I mean, net revenue shot up a massive 31% year over year. You just don't see that kind of explosive growth from a company this size. It's a huge signal that their strategy started firing on all cylinders at exactly the right time. Okay, so let's zoom out to the full year picture. Revenue is up a very strong 14%, but honestly, the number that really matters here is the adjusted operating margin. It hit a record 24.2%. This shows they weren't just selling more stuff, they were operating more efficiently and more profitably than they ever have before. And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? The market expected revenue of about $1.26 billion in the fourth quarter. Hasbro came in and delivered $1.45 billion. That's not a small beat, that's a total blowout that took Wall Street completely by surprise. It points to some kind of powerful engine driving this company forward. So, what was that engine? Well, this brings us to the most valuable player in Hasbro's entire lineup, their gaming division, Wizards of the Coast. Just look at that number, an 86% revenue spike for Wizards of the Coast in one quarter. Folks, this isn't just growth, it's hypergrowth. This single division was basically the rocket fuel for Hasbro's entire record-breaking year. Now, while there are a lot of key players here, one brand was in a league of its own, Magic: The Gathering. For the full year, Magic sales grew by nearly 60%. It's transformed from a beloved card game into a full-blown cultural and financial phenomenon. So what was the secret sauce? It all came down to collaboration. The Universes Beyond series brought some of the world's biggest and most loved IPs into the world of Magic. Sets based on Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Final Fantasy, they became some of the best-selling in the game's entire history. And with Marvel and The Hobbit on the way, this strategy is just getting warmed up. But look, it wasn't just Magic. Hasbro's entire strategy is now built around the power of partnerships. They're revitalizing their classic brands and adding a bunch of new all-stars to the roster.
I mean, the CEO, Chris Cox, said it himself. Partnerships are basically in Hasbro's DNA. This isn't some new idea for them, but they are executing it on a completely new level now, treating it as a core pillar of their whole playing to win strategy.
And you want to see the proof? Just look at this new lineup. We're talking about the main toy license for Harry Potter, a partnership with Amazon for Voltron, deals with Legendary for Street Fighter, and Netflix for the global smash hit K-pop Demon Hunters. They are systematically collecting the world's most iconic franchises and adding them to their playbook. It's incredible.
Okay, so we've seen the amazing results and the strategy that got them there. But what's next? Well, Hasbro is already laying the groundwork for its next chapter, and it is all about digital and AI. This is where it gets really tangible. Hasbro isn't just playing around with AI, they're deploying it at scale. They actually expect to free up over 1 million hours of work on things like forecasting and order management and reinvest all that human brainpower directly into what actually matters most, creativity and innovation.
And their approach is really smart. They call it human-centric, creator-led. So, step 1, use AI as a tool to make work faster, not to replace people. Step 2, let humans, the creators, make the final creative calls. And step 3, take all that time you saved and pour it right back into developing the next generation of great ideas. It's all about augmentation, not just automation. Okay, let's bring it all together. With all this incredible momentum, what does the future actually hold? Let's take a look at the official game plan for 2026.
So it's a pretty balanced picture. The tailwinds are definitely strong. They're guiding for another 3 to 5% revenue growth, and get this, they've authorized a massive $1 billion share buyback, which shows a ton of confidence. But they're also being realistic about the headwinds, flagging things like potential tariff costs and higher royalty payments that are going to eat into their margins a bit.
So here's the bottom line. Hasbro has fundamentally rewired its business model. It's now a gaming and IP-led powerhouse that knows how to use partnerships like almost nobody else. The question is no longer if this turnaround is real. The real question is, are we watching the beginning of a new, dominant empire in the world of play? Based on these results, the game is definitely on.